Hey guys, and welcome back to the Wannabe Studs League. Today's video is going to be all about a recap for our Week 2 matchups that turned out to be some pretty good ones, Kyle.
Yeah, so like we said last week, we're going to be moving to a two-video a week format so that we keep them a little bit shorter, but also give you the information we're really trying to put into these videos.
Absolutely. So what we're hoping is this recap takes about 10 minutes or so, and tomorrow's video on the predictors for Week 3 matchups will be about 15 minutes, hopefully. Get you guys some information so you're not all over the place. Alright, Kai, you want to start us off with the first matchup from last week?
Yes, I do. First one actually goes out to you, Steve. So this is Pokemon Creep versus Cooking Class. So as you know from last week, we predicted the teams and we actually picked the same exact picks for every single thing. We went through and we're like, wow. So as we go past, I'm going to talk about how we did comparing to reality. And just remember that every single thing that I say, we both picked. So the score of this one was Pokemon Creep had 109 points versus Cooking Class had 83. We said that Cooking Class would win this, and they didn't. So it was an upset for both of us. That brings Pokemon Creep to 1-1. They're now in 7th place. And Cooking with Class is 0-2, and they're falling to last. The big ones to talk about is really Cam, Saquon, and Devontae. They both did really, really well for Pokemon Creep, and that really gave them the advantage. And on Cooking with Class, nobody really excelled and played above their limits to give them any advantage in any position. So it was just unable to do anything for him. So that's what caused the upset.
Yeah, Kyle, it's really strange to see scores below 100 in this kind of format with 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, flex, good quarterback. So whenever you see a score like that, expect there to be an upset. All right, second matchup was between My Ball Zach Ertz and Parziale. Now in this one, the favorite that we both picked last week, My Ball Zach Ertz won with a score of about 130 to 109. So not too close of a matchup, but still a good win. And that brings My Ball Zach Ertz 2-0 and up to 2nd place on the season. Good job. And unfortunately, after a good start week 1, Parziale goes to 1-1 and drops down to 8th place. The big key players here for My Ball Zach Ertz was Melvin Gordon going off for 30 points and AJ Green having a great Thursday night for the Bengals.
All right. After that, we have Ramsey's All-Suck team and Drew 2. We picked Drew 2 to win this one, and the score was Ramsey's All-Suck team with 117 and Drew 2 with 106. So another upset for us. They just keep pouring in, guys. That brings Ramsey's All-Suck team to 2-0, and they're in 3rd overall. And Drew 2 is now 1-1. They go to 5th. The big things we want to talk about is Drew 2 benched Patrick Mahomes, which, it would have won him the week. It was just a really, really big thing, and instead he decided to start Deshaun Watson, who has not looked that great this season. So it looks like you're going to hopefully learn your lesson this week and maybe start Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's looking like Deshaun Watson of last year, so Patrick Mahomes coming up big. Next matchup we have is this guy's Carry On My Wayward Sons taking the win over Deflatriots. This one was another one we predicted, right? Kyle took the win with a 135 to 124 point victory. And it brings him to 1-1 for the year, up to 6th place. And unfortunately, Deflatriots dropped to 0-2 and all the way down to 11. So, Ryan, you got to start picking it up again and win some of these matchups coming up. Now, some of the big key players that you had go off for you this week were Travis Kelce. And surprisingly, Robbie Gould and the Rams defense both gave you 14 and 13 points respectively. That's a good week when you can get your kicker and your defense both putting up double digits. It's going to be hard to beat anyone that week. And unfortunately for Deflatriots, even though Big Ben and Will Fuller had amazing weeks, he just couldn't pull off a victory this week. Good luck next week, Ryan.
All right, next up we have Wannabe Winners versus Tyler's team. We predicted that the Wannabe Winners would win this one. And the score was Wannabe Winners 127 to Tyler 141. So again, another upset. Now, if you're noticing any trend here, it's that all 3 games that I talked about last week were upsets, and every single game that Steve talked about last week we predicted correctly. So, Steve, as long as you keep saying that I'm winning, I'm going to let you keep picking my team, alright?
Alright, well, I guess I have to pick my team again, too. Or, maybe I'll just be the underdog for the rest of the season.
So the Wannabe winners and Tyler's team both fall to 1-1, but Wannabe winners are now in 4th, and Tyler's team is in 9th, so that really shows the difference in points scored. The big players here, Michael Thomas really went off for Wannabe winners, and Juju really went off for Tyler's team. Now that's really big because Wannabe winners actually had Antonio, who didn't put up that many points comparatively. It was almost double what Juju almost double up what Antonio put up. One really big fact is that Blake Bortles was on the bench for Wannabe winners. It was a difference between his Andrew Luck he started of 20 points. Now, he only lost this by about 14 points, so if he had started Blake Bortles, he would have won this game. I mean, you can't be expected to start Blake Bortles over, Andrew Luck, but maybe he should have.
I mean, against the Patriots, you never know. Blake Bortles could have put up 10 points, but, bad luck, Trevor. Maybe next week you get the right one out there. Alright, now the last matchup for week 2 was, I want to first say thank you, Cody, for finally changing your team name. Guys, I like this one. He's Just Girly Things. And I think that's a pretty good name for this year.
I like it.
And he was playing Street's back, and he took the win. Another one that we picked right. But this was the closest matchup we had, with Just Girly Things taking a slight victory of 131 to 125. That was the closest matchup we had this week, and honestly, that wasn't the one we thought was going to be close.
No.
We thought Cody was going to take a big win this week, but a win's a win. Now, that brings Cody to 2-0 for the season, and with the big scores, he's in first place. And Street's back with another loss, moves to 0-2, but he's at the top of the 0-2s in 10th, meaning he's still scored a decent amount of points. So hopefully a few wins will bring him back up in the rankings. Now, obviously, Just Girly Things. Todd Gurley went off again this week, continuing last season and his Week 1 performance. And Cody had Kirk Cousins go off for him in Minnesota, which was huge. Those two players really carried his team, 30-plus points each. Now, unfortunately for Street's back, he started Drew Brees, who didn't have a bad week, put up 20 points, but Matt Ryan on his bench really hurts. After that Week 1 performance, I can't blame you for benching him, but this was the week that you really wanted to have him in, and unfortunately it didn't work out. You still had Stephon Diggs go off for 30 points and DeAndre Hopkins for 20, which was huge, but having Matt Ryan out there would have gotten you that win. So better luck next week. Another quarterback that probably should have started that we just didn't think about. So that's our Week 2 recap of the matchups. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you had any comments about your own matchup if you guys are watching this video. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Week 3. See ya!